In the world of finance, two companies reigned supreme, yet they couldn't be more different. One lived for the 2 decades, refusing to turn a meaningful profit. The other hoarded the largest cash reserve in corporate history. Amazon and Apple. They both reached the trillion-dollar club, but via two opposing financial philosophies. One bet on market share dominance at any cost. The other bet on absolute control over profit margins. Jeff Bezos, then a comfortable Wall Street executive, saw one stat that changed his life. The internet was growing by 2,300% a year. He didn't see an opportunity to sell books. He saw an opportunity to dominate the future of commerce. From 1995 until 2001, a whopping 7 full years after its founding, Amazon barely scraped a net profit. Every investor screamed, "Where are the returns?" And Bezos' answer was the cornerstone of his strategy: "Your margin is my opportunity." Amazon's financial strategy was radical: sacrifice margin to achieve two things: price dominance and infrastructure expansion. Every single dollar was immediately poured back into warehouses, logistics, and software. This wasn't bad management. It was a disciplined, long-term financial decision. Bezos understood that the ultimate competitive advantage wasn't a cool product, but cost leadership. If he could afford to operate at a lower cost than anyone else, he could set the price, and eventually he would own the customer. It was a deliberate strategy of growth over profit. Instead of optimizing for quarterly earnings, Amazon optimized for maximizing long-term cash flow. This philosophy attracted a unique breed of investor, one willing to bet a fortune on a promise years in the future. This wasn't bad management. It was a disciplined, long-term financial decision. Bezos understood that the ultimate competitive advantage wasn't a cool product, but cost leadership. If he could afford to operate at a lower cost than anyone else, he could set the price, and eventually he would own the customer. It was a deliberate strategy of growth over profit. Instead of optimizing for quarterly earnings, Amazon optimized for maximizing long-term cash flow. This philosophy attracted a unique breed of investor, one willing to bet a fortune on a promise years in the future. The dot-com bubble burst of 2000 was Amazon's trial by fire. The stock fell by over 90%. Hundreds of companies died. But instead of retreating, Bezos pressed harder. His company survived because of the infrastructure they had so aggressively built. In 2003, Amazon realized something profound. The enormous server capacity they'd built to handle the Christmas rush was sitting idle 90% of the time. This was a massive fixed cost waiting to be monetized. This led to the birth of Amazon Web Services, AWS. This was not a tech decision, it was a financial masterstroke. Bezos took a crippling fixed cost, the data centers, and turned it into a high-margin, revenue-generating product. Today, AWS is the undeniable cash engine of Amazon. It's the profit center that generates the billions needed to finance Amazon's low-margin retail gambles, its acquisitions, and its massive logistics expansion. Amazon's empire is built on the genius of monetizing its own infrastructure. Now look at Apple, the first company to hit $1 trillion valuation. Unlike Amazon, Apple doesn't just tolerate profit, it demands it. Its success is defined by a fierce commitment to high margins and financial discipline. This discipline meant strategically avoiding 5 catastrophic financial mistakes that have derailed countless other tech giants. The lessons from Apple are not about innovation, they are about ruthless financial focus. Mistake hash 1, the financial folly of limitless product expansion. Amazon is everywhere. Apple, historically, is hyper-focused. When Steve Jobs returned in 1997, the company was hemorrhaging money and selling dozens of subpar products. Jobs slashed the product line by 70%. Apple decided to focus on a few things and charge a premium price for them. While Amazon seeks volume at low margin, Apple seeks high margin at premium volume. This simple focus ensured massive cash generation from a handful of hits. Mistake hash 2, the acquisition black hole. Amazon spends billions on massive, unrelated acquisitions like Whole Foods or MGM Studios. Apple does make acquisitions, but they are almost always small, private technology firms that are immediately absorbed to improve a core product like the iPhone or a service like Siri. Apple avoids large mergers that distract management and dilute the focus on their core product. This discipline keeps their balance sheet clean and their operational efficiency razor sharp. Mistake hash 3, operating without a cash fortress. Apple almost went bankrupt in 1997 due to a lack of liquidity. Jobs learned a painful lesson. Cash is king. Apple then stockpiled the largest corporate cash reserve ever, a fortress against any economic downturn or catastrophic product failure. This reserve gave them the luxury of patience and allowed them to dictate terms to suppliers and competitors alike. Financial strength is Apple's ultimate insurance policy. Mistake hash 4, engaging in price wars. Bezos happily started price wars in every market he entered. Apple has historically refused. They never launched a truly cheap iPhone, understanding that once you train a consumer to expect low prices, the profit margin is destroyed forever. Apple sold premium experience at a premium price. The company's brand equity allows it to maintain the highest margins in the industry, making its income statement a thing of beauty. Mistake hash 5, alienating the developer ecosystem. Apple failed in its early years partly by ignoring third-party developers. When they succeeded with the iPhone, their biggest financial decision was the App Store. This was not just a technical platform, it was an incredibly lucrative financial model. By taking a 30% cut of every purchase, Apple created a massive recurring revenue stream from its services division, providing a reliable, high-margin counterweight to the volatility of hardware sales. So, who had the superior financial strategy? Neither. Both show that there are multiple roads to the financial summit. We want to hear from you. If you were a venture capitalist in 1997, which company would you have invested in? The unprofitable market dominator or the cash-strapped, focused innovator? Let us know in the comments. If you want to continue decoding the financial histories that shaped the world, make sure to subscribe to the Capital Chronicle. We'll see you next time.